Welcome to the Teaching Bites podcast. Here are your hosts, Fred and Sharon Jaravada.
Hey everyone, my name is Fred.
And I'm Sharon.
I am a K-8 Educational Innovation Coordinator.
And I'm a third grade teacher.
Third grade teacher, cool. Mm-hmm. So let me explain what I do. I am an Educational Innovation Coordinator. So I work with K-8 teachers in my school. And I work for two schools, Boys Elementary, Girls Elementary. And the key word here is the innovation part, and I'm supposed to help bring innovation to the classroom.
And what does that mean? Innovation. It's a big word.
It's a huge word. Mm-hmm. And let me back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I help the teacher bring innovation to the classroom. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I always work with teachers and see what they need, what they need support in, so we can make things new and better. That's what innovation is, really. Innovation really means making something new and making something better.
So like taking two different ideas and putting them into one.
Just like that also. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But also start changing things up, improve on things, upgrade things to newer things that we find. Like, case in point, we had the overhead projector. The overhead projector we used for years and years and years. Did you know that actually the overhead projector was first used in bowling alleys?
Oh, we talked about that in one of our fun facts way back in the early episodes.
Way back, I believe, yes. But it's interesting how that technology was used a long time ago. It's been effective, it's very useful, and it served its purpose, right? Mm-hmm. But we took our boys and to the bowling alley for our son, our eldest son's birthday, and for his birthday party, and they don't have overhead projectors anymore.
I don't think I remember seeing those in the bowling alleys when I was growing up.
Yeah, you're young. Yeah. I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
But I remember back in the day, it used to be that. But yeah, now it's digital. Right?
Oh, it's so cool. They could put your own pictures up there and.
Right. So it has a camera and so on. Mm-hmm. So even the bowling alleys, they upgraded, right? Mm-hmm. Now, it's important to move on. And now, in the past 10, 15, maybe even 20 years in education, we all moved into laptops, desktops, and using PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm. Right? And document cameras instead of the projector. Mm-hmm. The overhead, I mean.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then now, the latest, it's not really the latest, but it's very powerful. I think it's the Apple TV right now. Mm-hmm. I don't have experience too much with Chromecast. I haven't played with that in over a year, and it was limited at that time. But if you're a listener, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think Chromecast can do that in the classroom yet. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But Apple TV is great because Apple TV, if you have school Apple products in your school, like MacBooks, MacBook Airs, and desktops and iPads. That's a big one. And then you can actually project your iPad, what you see in your iPad, to the TV. And obviously you'll need a flat screen TV, an HD TV. That's what you'll need.
Yeah.
So that is an example of hardware innovation, how things get better and better. And now the next step for that is virtual reality and augmented reality.
Pokemon Go.
There's a huge game that came out but a week ago. It's Pokemon Go. And if you see people walking around in groups and they're looking at, through their phones or little screens and walking around the park aimlessly, and they're just like you ran.
Yeah, I love running here at Lake Merced in the city. And I just noticed a lot more people than normal were walking around looking down on their phones.
A lot more.
Kind of, usually people do that anyway, but I'm like, why is it such a beautiful day? You should be looking at the nature around you, enjoying your friends, but they're looking at the screen, and I didn't really realize it was the game until later. Mm-hmm. But I actually took a picture of it, and I posted it on Facebook because I was so disturbed that people were just not looking around. Like, I could just grab their phone or kick it in the water.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people, there were some incidences that people were getting mugged because the people were too engrossed into this augmented reality game called Pokemon Go. If you don't know what augmented reality is, it's basically you see your screen and you turn on your camera, so you see the environment through your camera, but you'll see a digital avatar, a digital icon, a symbol out there like a Pokemon character, and you're supposed to catch that character. And it's not in real life, obviously, but you're interacting with the environment now, right? And with an overlay where you can catch these characters, which is interesting to me. I think it's very cool because, one, it gets all those kids out of the home, get some sunshine, some fresh air, but also it can really just going to make sure that these kids are safe. And I think there was an incident that some kids or some adults, they were actually walking on a cliff.
Yeah, and they fell.
And they fell through a cliff because they weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Be careful. Play that game. Check it out. Be careful. Are there educational uses for that? Yeah, there will be. AR and VR. Yes, of course. Let Pokemon Go be a game for the kids. But make sure that you check it out. See what's happening. All right.
I don't know. I've never played it yet, but it seems cool. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Did you like it? You played it a little bit.
I played a little bit, but I'm not into it. Yes, I was never into the Pokemon thing. But, but I'm a '70s child, so I grew up in the '80s.
But I'm sure it could be any other characters.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's just the AR.
Right. And it has to make interest for me, some interest to me. And that's where the innovation comes in, that the technology is making us interact with the real world. And that's where it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
But those things are really cool. Using technology is great. But today, we want to share with you 6 simple ways to spark a growing innovative mindset with your students. Okay? So what's cool about this, that I created this list, or these ways to spark innovation. You don't need fancy computers. You don't need devices. You don't need shiny technology. Okay? But the reason why it's important to spark innovation with our kids, our students, is that if, we need to move on. We need to go into the 21st century. We're already 16 years into this 21st century, and we need to make sure that our students are ready for the challenges that we don't even know that can pop up when they're adults. And we want to make sure that they can communicate together, that they can collaborate together.
4 C's.
The 4 C's. They can critically think through things logically.
And be creative.
And be using creativity, right? I mean, a lot of studies and a lot of people are saying that a lot of the jobs will disappear. Truck drivers, bank tellers, that's already going away. Bridge toll people, a lot of the menial work, a lot of the back-breaking work, a lot of the work where it's kind of mindless, like you can just do without using a lot of brain power. That's all going to go away, and that's a big thing. A lot of big things are showing that how, like Amazon, the internet company,
the drones.
Well, the drones, but they have drones, not the flying drones, but they have drones in their buildings, in their warehouses. They have warehouses all over the country. That's why they can, if you have Prime, you get 2-day shipping really fast. But they store a lot of the products there, and they have robots inside those buildings, moving things, picking things up, sorting things. There's less and less human action needed now.
Right. Yeah.
So we want to get our kids, because we have 7+ billion people here now. We can't just let them all sit around and do nothing. We need to make sure that these kids or the next generation can think critically and do the whole 4 C's and be creative, right?
Yeah.
So these going back to this this little tip of 6 simple ways to spark innovation. Again, no technology needed. You can just use your voice, and you can also just use a pencil and paper.
And also, these also apply to any curricular area that you're teaching. It's not like you have to teach a new subject. It's all integrated
Right.
within everything.
The thing is, and I'll explain it as we go with this. They can be done individually. You don't need to do all 6. You can pick one, try that out for a week, a month, maybe the whole year if you like it. You can pick and choose any of these 6. Now, are there only 6 ways to spark innovation? No, definitely not. This is just our take and my experience of trying this out in a small scale with my students. But I think these will help the classroom teacher, will help you get the kids moving and get the kids thinking differently.
Okay, so for the first one, you said spark curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what that means?
So going back to Ramsey Musalam's video that we borrowed in one of the episodes a while back.
The hero's journey one.
The hero's journey one. You know, that's the way how everything starts with a question, right? Everything is like, how did that happen? Or if you show an image or show a video, or if you show you let your students listen to a piece of audio or a video clip, and then you don't give them information and you just let it play, and then you let it sit for a while.
That's like Dan Meyer's site.
Right, exactly. Dan Meyer does the same
101
thing.
questions.
Exactly. And we'll have that in the show notes. But if you do that, just put a provocative picture, a provocative piece of work, a provocative audio clip or video clip that will perplex the student. They're going to ask questions, you know, and that's like the hook. You got them. They want to figure things out. That's the first start of innovation.
And they'll motivate them through that whole sequence.
Right. It will motivate them, and they want to find out. And hey, as a teacher, hey, you may not know the answer, but hey, you may have a parent, you may have a teacher who's a math whiz, teaching math in the 3rd period, or you know, you could connect with other adults, other experts, but getting the curiosity is hugely important. Now, I'm going to run down how quickly. I got a lot of this information from Ramsey, from Dan Meyer, and also from the Right Question Institute. And I adapted some of these questions, or the ways of how they train the kids how to ask good questions. Okay, so you have a focus topic. So something that compels the student, right? Like a statement and so on, an image and so on. But you have to put it in a time limit, say 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Time limit is important, okay? You can't just linger. You need to move on. Okay, speed is pretty important here. You don't want to answer questions. You just want to generate questions. Just generate questions, and then write it all down. Okay, and if they make a statement, ask that student to change that statement into a question.
Yeah.
Right. And then you look back at those questions, say time is up. Then you look back at those, say 10 questions. Then you start improving those questions. Well, maybe this question was too, it's just a surface type of question, you know, a very simple question. How can you make that better? So you're going back and making questions better.
So you're teaching them how to ask deeper questions, not on the surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes with practice.
And the thing is, all these ways, it all you need to do it continuously.
It's not just one time.
Not just one time. You have to try it at least for a week, maybe at least 7 times in that week, 5 times in that week, or at least once. And try it the whole day, in all your core subjects. Right. Try it out for a week, and see how that goes. Because the silly questions are going to come. They are going to come. But if you keep going, if the kids and any adults, okay, as they do it over and over again, you'll notice that the questions get better.
And this is something that you can communicate to parents to do with their kids. And also in your class, as you slowly release responsibility, they could ask each other.
Right. And then the Right Question Institute, they have a document that that you can share with parents so they can get into this also at home, which is very cool. After you improve the questions, then you prioritize the questions, which is more important, and so on. You rank them, and then here's what I added is that for every question there in that list, try to find what's the first step. Write down the first step for every question you want to find out the answer to.
Like first step of how to get to the answer?
Right. Exactly. What's the first step?
Like where am I going to look for this resource? Or where,
right.
Who am I going
to
talk
Good example, I'm going to use a billionaire example. Richard Branson, of Virgin. Right. He came up with a question when he was when he was early 20s, before he founded Virgin Airlines. I think the question was, why can't I not have a cheaper way to fly from London to New York? So he had that question. It bugged him. How come he can't find a flight, and he couldn't find a cheaper flight? So he wrote that. He thought and marinated on that question for a while. Then he decided to take the first step. He called Boeing themselves in Seattle. He called Boeing. He asked them, how much would it rent out a plane, a 747 plane, for a year? And then that was the first step. Call Boeing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a very popular story, but that's what he did. So you find the first step. Now, it can be crazy first step, but you try to see what is the first action you can do.
Oh, okay. Gotta start somewhere.
And then you reflect on the questions, and then you keep going. You start iterating. You start making it better. Okay, and that goes on with all your all. It can work at any lesson, right? The hook. You grab the hook. We suggest not to use a question as the hook. You use a statement or image or something that's perplexing to your students.
Okay. All right. So number 2 is 10 ideas.
10 ideas to keep complacency away. Now this is what I do personally. And a lot of people are doing this also. And I think a lot of students can actually do this.
You know what? We should do one right now, live.
Live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'll give you a topic.
Okay.
And through this, we'll show you how this works. So every day, you get your brain to think of 10 ideas about something.
So you teach your kids. You give your kids time to write down 10 ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
About something. So how about, Fred, let's give 10 ideas about a jacket. I don't know.
Okay, one idea. How can you make a jacket that you don't have to wash? That's one idea.
Okay, another idea is, how can you make a jacket that's really warm, but can also be water repellent and snowboarding or something.
I think of those.
Very versatile.
And the thing is, I'm not supposed to judge your ideas, right?
Yeah, we'll just get them out.
Here's a third. Here's number 3. I want my jacket to be go with warm during the cold months, and also cool in the summer months. The same jacket.
Okay. I want my jacket to grow with me.
That's 4. Oh, that's a good one, right?
So that I don't have to buy a new one.
5. I want a jacket that has secret pockets for all our devices.
Okay. What number was that?
That's 5.
Okay, number 6. I want my jacket to be able to be casual in the daytime and maybe dressy at night when I go out with you on a date or something.
Okay, and number 7.
7.
Now 7. Here's the kicker. 7. Usually, a lot of people have a hard time after 6, 7. After that, it gets really, really hard. If it gets really hard, then tell your students or tell anyone, write 20. Go for 20. The point is, even if it's silly, bring them all out. Just bring them all out. Okay.
So it's not about the numbers so much.
It's just about idea generation.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay.
Number 7.
I want my my jacket to change color when I want it to.
I want my jacket to, like Back to the Future Part 2, have like air conditioning in it.
Okay. It's close to my
it's not
eyes earlier. It's not original, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But for a student, that might be original.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of the kids today have watched Back to the Future.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 8. And how about you,
8.
number 9?
Number 9, I want my jacket to fold up into a small package, but when you pull it out, it's wrinkle-free.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I want my jacket to be so awesome I don't have to wash it because it's such great, repelling, wicky material.
All right.
Okay,
There you
10
go.
ideas.
10 ideas. Okay. So the idea is just to generate ideas, right?
But
on a
actually-
topic.
Actually, us doing that together, I got ideas from you, too.
Right. And then you can work as a pairs, right, with your students. You can do pairs. You can work as a group. You can do it individually. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So try that for a few days. It's a good habit just to get ideas. In the morning, you can find whatever is convenient. Maybe when you have dead time, right?
Yeah. When you're bored or you're waiting for the bus or something. Mm-hmm. So, number 3, a sketchy but better way to take notes. And Fred, I noticed in the past couple of years, you've been really drawn to you do sketchnoting in your books.
What's sketchnoting?
What's sketchnoting? It's to me, it's a symbolic or visual representation of notes. It's pictures. It's not
Symbols.
really a bunch of keywords. Not really a bunch of sentences. Yeah, both pictures, and that's the way you've been taking your notes, and you've been figuring out. It's not really. You told me this. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not art. It's drawing.
Ideas.
Right? Ideas.
It's all about ideas. All right, so sketch notes. Yeah, you're right. Exactly, you got it. Sketch notes, and I'm going to add to that, is that sketch notes is a way to take notes from a lecture with symbols. Okay, and it can be very personal. My sketch note can be different from Sharon's sketch note, from the other student's sketch note. So it only works for that. Excuse me. It works for that student. Okay, so a lot of kids like to doodle, but there are a lot of studies are showing, they're suggesting that doodling, the students are listening. Okay. Now, this came about because myself and a lot of studies are also showing that people taking notes through laptops or through, they're just writing everything down verbatim. It's not, they're not processing it in their mind. Sketchnoting offers a way for the student to process the thinking, the process what they just heard. So even students who are struggling with writing out words, writing out sentences, a lot of people have a hard time doing that or catching up. It's just too fast sometimes, right? Instead of writing a 1,000 words, just draw one picture. Now, these pictures don't have to be fancy. They can be very simple. They use circles, triangles, squares, rectangles. That's all you need. So I suggest using that, using sketch notes. Encourage your kids to use sketch notes. It's for them. They have a good practice is to have your students create a library of symbols that they can pull up anytime when they're live sketchnoting. So they know a ruler. They know how to draw a ruler really quick. Or a toaster. They know how to draw a toaster really quick. Or a soccer ball. They know how to draw a soccer ball really quick. Okay? And again, it's not about art. It's all about ideas. Right? So you see a theme here. We're just creating ideas.
So let me reiterate. So this is for the sketcher to remember their notes.
Yes.
So if I were to look at yours, which I've done before, I can understand it. But it's not about me understanding your notes so much as you understanding your notes.
Exactly.
So
there is a thing there that from my what I hear from my ears goes through my brain and it goes through my hand onto the paper. It's for me to remember, right? And I can look back and I can remember how I drew that, or I can remember what has been said at that time. Now, when I draw my sketch notes, it's kind of all over the place. It's called the popcorn style. I try to do other different ways. There are other different ways, skyscraper styles and so that. But my popcorn style, it's kind of just pops up anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it may look like it's in an order that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense for me.
That reminds me of my former student's mom. Her name is Nevada Lane. Hi, Nevada. She has a business called Lane Change Consulting. I'll put that in the show notes. And she does graphic recording, which is kind of like sketch notes in a book, but she does it on a big poster.
Bigger, right.
And she helps facilitate meetings with businesses.
Conferences.
And she's done some for our school. For our school site council meeting. So it's like a summary of what happened at the meeting. It's really beautiful. You could understand the sequence. Right. But I would think she has to make sure that her images and words are universal to anyone reading it versus yours, where yours is for your own notes.
Right.
So she has a different mindset, I think, for that.
Yes.
But I do want to maybe interview her or feature her on our show because her stuff is amazing.
She can share the process and the research behind it. This is very powerful. I love watching those videos. They draw my life videos, or those just TED Talk videos where they show, like I forget who the Doodle Revolution book, the author, I forget her name right now, but she talks about doodling. And it's a great TED Talk that she does about how it's very powerful. Again, that'll be in the show notes. We'll send you the link for that. But yes, sketch notes, it's huge. It's getting bigger. It's great. And we've been doing it for thousands and thousands of years.
In caves, yeah.
Did you know the letter A, right? The letter A. And I showed this to Sharon yesterday.
Oh, right.
Where does the letter A come from?
It's an upside down ox. Ox
it comes
head.
from the ox, right?
So if you guys are there, go on Wikipedia and type in letter A.
Right.
And then you might be addicted and go all the way to Z.
So you'll see people, our ancestors way back, millennia, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years ago, maybe more, they were drawn in caves with symbols.
And hieroglyphics and pyramids.
Exactly. So, and our alphabet are symbols, right? They came from symbols, and they are symbols, and you put them together to make words.
And then that reminded me of Chinese writing. Some of the characters are from pictures, which, they're simplified and traditional characters, but that's how I remembered it.
So yeah, if you're a visual thinker, if you're a student that's a visual thinker, try that.
Or ELL students, second language learners, it's really, really helpful to have pictures for them. So this is something that's accessible for them as well.
Now you got to make sure the heads up on this is that they may take too much time drawing, so that's why have your kids build a library first of everyday objects. Okay.
I guess you could think of it as like line drawings. It's not super detailed.
It's not super detailed. As long as they can recall, then they can understand the information they just received.
When you have to show examples, right? You have to kind of do it with them.
Right, exactly. So maybe I want you to draw 20 items in the classroom. Right. And then you would move on. You find a TED Talk, or you find a video, or just an audio or a podcast, and then have them draw out what they're listening to. Like a simple one, a story, maybe a children's story, right?
Or a poem,
an audio book, or you reading as the teacher, you're reading a poem or a story. Have the kids doodle that out, draw it out, sketch it out,
and they could share with each other on that same exact part.
All right.
Number 4. Dear 2.0. Now, you guys know what DEAR is, right?
What is DEAR, Sharon?
Drop everything and read, or SSR, sustained silent reading. But this is something that you told me about, DEAR 2.0.
Yes, when I got
What is that?
I got this idea from George Couros. He's a principal, an innovative principal up in Canada. And he's amazing. He has a great book. It's called The Innovator's Mindset for educators. Okay. He got this idea, and I think he got it from someone else. And, as teachers, we get ideas from everybody, right? We take it. Dear 2.0, drop everything and reflect.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the kids, or a lot of even adults, okay, a lot of us, we go through all the school day. We go through the school day, we go through your emotions, and we just intake.
Go.
Right? Intake, go. We are just getting information in our head. There's not enough time to reflect on things. It's so hard.
Even as teachers ourselves.
No, yeah, exactly. So if you can find a time to get your kids to reflect, during SSR is great. I'm not against SSR or DEAR 1.0, but carve out a time and finding a time to reflect. How can they reflect? They can write what they learn all day. They can sketch note what they learned also. They can record into into a computer, iPad, whatever. They can talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They can talk to each other in person about what they did. Maybe it's a good time for circle time. They can do it individually. They can do it in pairs. They can do it in the whole class setting.
There should be a routine, built in.
And I think
a little bit at a time and ramp it up.
And teachers do that. You do that to the appreciation day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the appreciation time. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Community circle time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of ways you can call it, and I think a lot of teachers already do that. Just gotta be, gotta do it more.
I think there's I've never done this, but those exit tickets a lot of teachers use. And at the end of the day, they have the kids answer something about the day. This could be a reflection part.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 5, move and make something.
Yes. So, we believe in moving in the classroom, right? I believe in having the kids stand up. And I know a lot of teachers do this too. We want the kids to stand up. We want them to move around. We want them to work on the floor. We want to have them use different heights of their tables, different areas of their room. And we want them, this encourages the blood flow of moving, right? Your brain needs blood.
Well, we're not supposed to sit. That's the thing. Humans are not supposed to sit too long.
We aren't.
Right? We're not made to do that.
But, in the classroom, at least the old model is to sit down in the classroom all day. I think George Couros, in The Innovator's Mindset, the book he was talking about, I think he had some teacher follow the schedule of a 7th or 8th grader, of a student.
Uh-huh.
And the teacher noticed that, oh my God, we're sitting all day. He went to go to 6 classes, and he was sitting almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it was hard for him, and he was an adult. How much
Imagine
more for teenagers
yeah.
or younger kids? So, we're just sitting all day. Right?
Well, you gotta really be cognizant of your kids' body language.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could tell they need to move. Okay, it's time to get up or take a break.
Yes.
So
moving is
breaks.
huge. Yeah, brain breaks, walking.
Oh, I love Go Noodle.
Can you explain Go Noodle?
Yeah,
real quick?
so I found this resource last year for those of you in California teachers. There's a Better Together Teacher Summit, and it happens at every single California State University. And I was able to attend last year's, and it was an ed camp style conference. So one of the sessions I went to, this woman told me about her resource she loves a lot, which is gonoodle.com, and you sign up for free, and the kids have this cool little alien avatar that kind of narrates to them, and you have to earn points by clicking on videos or dance routines, and they could be between 1 minute to 10 minutes, and the kids just follow the dance, like Dance Revolution or little things. And so it's really fun, and the kids love it. They want it more than I'm allowed to give it to them. So it gets them off their butt.
Cool, yes. That's a good site.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can also do that. Can you just do that with like iTunes or Spotify?
You can,
Yeah.
but it's fun because it's consistent characters and it's
The
a whole
avatars,
little world.
right? Little avatar, like Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh,
Everything.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, stuff like that. Get them out, get them moving. If it's a nice day, do the lesson outside.
Yeah, and a lot of times I have my kids answer questions by going to either side of the classroom, like north, south, east, west.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no, or this answer, and it's fun.
And we know your teachers do that already. A lot of you guys really do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So number 6, the last one, it is connect and share your work. This is huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's important we think that it's important to have our students share their work with the community, with not just with each other in the classroom, but also with other people, other grade levels, other teachers. Celebrate their work, share their work, so that they can engage and interact with these other people in their community.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they may get an idea that can go deeper in their work, whatever they created, right?
Right.
Something might click with another student that may spark their thinking also.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Open windows. It's huge. If you have windows, great. If you have a safe place where kids can interact with different grades, that's awesome. You can share also through the websites, your blogs. You can share through podcasting in your classroom. You can share with your newsletters, and I know a lot of people do that also. We just want to make sure they're being read, but not just the parents, but everyone else.
Yeah. They need a forum, so it's not just something that's contained in the classroom. And then when they know their audience is far and wider, then they're more motivated to really do a good job, and the more purposeful, I think, and meaningful.
So those were the 6.
Yeah.
Just quickly review of those 6 simple ways to spark innovation in your classroom is to, 1, you got to spark curiosity and get them asking great questions. Then number 2 is to produce 10 ideas a day. Number 3, sketch notes.
Number 4, reflecting.
Dear 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, make and move something.
And 6, connecting and sharing ideas with others.
Okay. So start small. Okay, Holly suggested that. Start small. Choose one of these to try out. Be consistent for about a week or so. Try another one if you don't like the first one. And then again, start small and then try it again also. And then you're going to make it your own. You don't have to stick to these ingredients that I have laying out for you. But make it your own. You'll see that this is it can be fun. And it can, be as long as you're consistent. And we think that the student is going to start generating better ideas when they're questioning, better observing of things.
And this makes your climate in your classroom really powerful, invigorating, and you can find that it totally changes your year. And who knows where it's going to go, right? And if you guys have any ideas, please let us know of other ways to innovate or spark curiosity. It would be awesome to hear ideas.
All right, folks. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe. Leave us an honest rating on iTunes and Google Music and Stitcher. And share this episode with a fellow teacher. We love teachers.
Love you.
All right, guys. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Teaching Bites podcast at www.teachingbites.com.